let me tell you what happened today. We saw one man today, Julius Abure. Perhaps a lot of people have not been seeing him in public. The national chairman of the Labour Party, whom the appeal court recently reinstated to that office, says he is pursuing reconciliation. Members of the party and effort are there to reposition the party for a better outing in the 2027 general election. Mr. Abure stated these on the start line of a meeting of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and leaders of the political parties in Abuja. According to him, he has not hurt feelings for any member of the party who has gone to court to challenge his office as the national chairman of the party and wants all party faithful to come together and reposition the party. Take a listen to Julius Abure.
Essentially, the squabble within the party ought to be a family affair, and that's how I see it. For me, there are no hard feelings. Like I stated before, and I will repeat again, that all those who may have one grievances or the other against the leadership of the party, it's an opportunity for all of us all to come together, reconcile our differences, and chart a way forward for the party. And so for me, I'm open for reconciliation. I've said so clearly, and then the party is going to take further measures to see that we bring every person within the party for us to discuss and chart a way forward for the party. I believe that the interest of Nigeria, the interest of the party it supersedes every other interest, and that is how I see it. So it's my appeal to all those who may be aggrieved one way or the other to come back to the party, and we can jointly work together in the interest of Nigeria and in the interest of our party. There's no political party without differences. Of course, it's a game of interest, and we always have conflicting interests in every political environment. So I believe that we come out better, we come out stronger. Now we have seen our strengths, we have seen our weaknesses, and I'm sure that all of this put together will reshaping the party and make the party to be stronger and will perform better in future elections.
That is Mr. Julius Abure with the fedora there. Of course, we do know that the Senator Nanado Usman-led Caretaker Committee of the Labour Party have been speaking about this matter after the appeal court reaffirmed Abure as the party national chairman, and is resolved to approach the Supreme Court for further clarification of the opposition party's leadership tussle. A statement co-signed by Senator Nanado Usman, who is the National Caretaker Committee Chair, and Senator Darlington Wokocha, the National Caretaker Committee Secretary, says the move would clear the ambiguities in the ruling of the appeal court. And the statement went further to say that the November 13, 2024 and January 17, 2025 rulings of the Court of Appeal have brought up issues that only the Supreme Court can clarify, and the Caretaker Committee has instructed their lawyer accordingly. All right. So where does the party go from there? For a lot of you, let's get the conversation, but quickly let me show to you and perhaps get your fingers busy. I'd like to know our Twitter handle, and on YouTube, of course, you can let us know what just comment on this quiz today. And the question is, who was the first woman to become the Speaker of the House of Representatives in Nigeria? Is it Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, or Patricia Ete, Dora Akunyili, or Amina Mohammed, who was the first woman to become the Speaker of the House of Representatives in Nigeria? That should be a very cheap one. Let's test how much of the Nigerian politics you know and its history. Let's get some insight on our major topic tonight, which is the Labour Party internal leadership crisis. I'm being joined by the legal advisor of the party, Kehinde Edun. He's live for us here in our studio. It's good to see you, Mr. Edun. Thanks so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here again.
Thank you so much. It does look that there are some contradictions from the appeal court ruling. Yes, there are position of the court, and there are precedents in law over how a court should adjudicate on internal party affairs. And the court has also submitted, said, look, the parties should be allowed to resolve their own internal affairs. But the appeal court judgment looked so much that it departed from that position. Are you worried that the Supreme Court might set this aside?
Not at all. The Court of Appeal was very, very clear in its judgment. That is why there is a paragraph where that court, I think it is in the last paragraph or so, where the court said, for clarity, the court knew that some people might get it wrong. So he said, for clarity, that the leadership of the party remains as it was before the filing of the suit at the trial court, and as affirmed by this court in our 13th November 2024 judgment. You know, there is something that must be made clear. Abure was never removed. So it is not a case of being reinstated. It was a case of his position being affirmed by that court.
So that we said reaffirmation.
Yes.
So if your position is that he was never
removed.
But he was being told to not to parade himself. That was the position of the trial court.
That court was in error. And that was why the Court of Appeal nullified that decision of that court. That means that pronouncement never existed. If a decision has been nullified, that means that it never existed. So he has always been chairman since 2021 when he emerged as chairman. So he has been chairman, was never removed. The court only affirmed it. And the court was also clear in declaring that the appeal filed by Nenadi Osman and INEC against the judgment of the Federal High Court, that appeal was of no moment, was odious, and was only academic. The implication of that appeal was not necessary, that appeal was pointless, the appeal was a waste of time, that the appeal was superfluous, that it was clear. When the court said an action is odious, what it means is it was not necessary. Because that court said that the complaints of Nenadi Osman and INEC at the Court of Appeal, that complaint was irredeemable. If a complaint is irredeemable, what the court said is, why did you come here? Your complaint is irredeemable. And that was why the court dismissed that appeal.
Mr. Edo, as a lawyer, how do you explain the principle, the very strong principle of law, audi alteram partem, which is one of the pillars of a very strong position that has been held by courts over and over? Nemo judes in casu sua. Audi alteram partem means you cannot not allow others to speak or not give them a fair hearing. The principle of fair hearing in law. If there is a judgment in favor of Julius Abure and the Nenadi Usman, who is on the other part, is saying, we were never heard, we were never allowed to speak, we were never given a fair hearing, that is a very, and you know what has always happened. When those principles are called, or when those principles are brought to bear, especially in front of the Supreme Court, and there's a list of judgments of court where these principles had caused the court to rule out appeal court judgments.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
The issue of the judgment of 13th November was actually brought up by the counsel to Nenadi during the adoption of our briefs at the Court of Appeal. It was the counsel to Nenadi Osman that actually brought up the issue of the judgment of 13th November. So the court was supposed to look at that judgment, and the court said, this court already made a pronouncement as to who is the national chairman of Labour Party. And that position stands. And that's what the court said, that position remains. That's what the court said. So it is clear. The appeal was of no moment. That was what the court declared. The appeal was unnecessary, it was superfluous, and it was pointless, and a sheer waste of time and academic exercise. So the court said, now, why the court went on to say is because the court said it was only an intermediate appellate. So it tried to look at some of the issues they raised. But the definitive decision of that court was that appeal was pointless, and the court dismissed that appeal. That is clear.
You will not be able to establish properly that this position, were you in court?
I was there.
And
I even addressed the court.
And you think that the Nenadi Usman-led Caretaker Committee or the side of the divide were given appropriate, adequate, and full chance to defend their case before the court?
They filed their processes, they adopted their processes. They even brought up the issue of this judgment of 13th November. It was the council to Nanadi that brought up the issue of the 13th November. The court looked at it. What we are saying here was that the court said that the appeal they have brought was actually dismissed. But the court said that we cannot leave everything open. This court has made a decision. A court is entitled to take notice of its decision. A court is entitled to take a decision that has not been set aside, a decision that subsists. And that was what that court said. That this decision, that Abure remains the national chairman of the Labour Party, is valid, it is subsisting, it has not been set aside. So the court has a right to rely on its decision. It's the decision of the court, it's not an opinion of anybody.
Because, I mean, there are those who also wonder that on what basis, actually, did the appeal court give his ruling, considering the fact that the case from the Labour Party candidate in Ondo State who went to court over whether or not is a substantive or is the original, authentic candidate of the party in the election, and how that is tantamount to reaffirming Julius Abure, and those things are not they are parallel and never meet at all.
Because the issue of the leadership of the party was raised in that case.
But that's not the primary question before the court.
But wait, what I'm saying is
was that the primary question before the court to answer?
Yes.
That was not the primary
question. Who has the authority to nominate a candidate?
The question was that
who has the authority?
The primary question before the court, which the court was supposed to resolve, is whether or not the candidate was the authentic one.
Yes, it was the nomination of the candidate.
Not Julius Abure.
Who has the authority to nominate?
The case of Julius Abure wasn't the primary question before the court. So the question is, why would the appeal court then go ahead and affirm Abure where that question was not put to the court?
The question was put to the court because it was raised by the council to Nanadi Osman during the adoption of our processes before the court. The council raised it, referred to it, the court looked at it. And let me tell you, the primary thing that we have to consider is that they cannot get any relief from that court, from the Court of Appeal, because the appeal was dismissed. When your appeal is dismissed, then you cannot get any relief from that court. And the court said that this issue, there is a judgment of this court, that why are you here? That why are you doing what is unnecessary, what is pointless? Because this issue has already been resolved by this court. If a matter has been resolved, you don't need to relitigate it. That's what that court is saying. Why do you relitigate a clear pronouncement of this court? And why are you here? So what you are saying in essence is that we don't have any dispute with Nanadi Osman. We didn't take them to court. What we went to do at the trial court was our case was against INEC. And the court agreed with us that INEC wronged the party, that INEC should do what is right. But they came that they said that they wanted to join, that they had interest in the party. Well, the court's wisdom, the court joined them. So that is why they are. What we are saying is we have no dispute with them because they are not even seeking to become leaders of the party. It is not one of their prayers because they know there is no basis for them to seek to lead the party. The manner of the formation and the registration of a political party and the evidence of the leader is well clearly spread out in our laws. So, and they have not fulfilled any requirement to become leaders of the party, and they are not seeking it. What they are seeking is to just to pull the party down.
The political leadership of the party,
yes,
and the elected leadership of the party,
yes,
they met in Umahia.
No, Umahia, there is nothing like that assembly recognized by the constitution of the party. There's nothing like a stakeholder.
Is the governor of the elected on the platform of the party recognized by law?
Yes, he's our governor and he's a member of.
Is your presidential candidate Peter Obi recognized? Are the senators or the House of Reps members of your party recognized by law?
They are not members of. We have to be clear. These people are not members of NEC. It's only the governor.
But your party was in crisis.
It was not.
In a convention held by Julius Abure, who sanctioned it?
The party.
Who is the party?
It's only the party that decides. It is the neck of the party that has the authority to fix dates.
Where did the neck sit? Where did the neck sit at that time? Where did it sit to decide on the Inewi convention?
The neck starts from time to time, and the last time.
Where was that time? What was the date, the time, the venue of the sitting where they decided that there was going to be a national convention in Inewi?
Since 2023 December, we gave notice to INEC of the March 27 convention. There was a change of date that we gave, but that notice has been given since 2023. NEC had been meeting from time to time, and the last time NEC met was on March 20 in Asaba.
Because it does look like you, Abure, and the rest have been seen as a rogue members of the party, and much of those who gathered in Uma here were those who were elected on the platform of the party who thought that the manner in which the party was going is not acceptable, and they felt that the NWC should be dissolved.
They have no
and
authority.
Put up a caretaker.
They have no authority to do what they did. And
they have the authority of the people.
It was a mere unlawful assembly. The only body that has the power to set up caretaker committee for the party is the NEC of that party. And the procedure to call a NEC meeting is very clear. And who can call it? Only the national chairman can authorize the calling of a NEC. And only the national assembly can give notice.
Can the head move without the body?
The body of the party is clearly with the NEC.
Who is Julius Abure leading?
The Labour Party, the national chairman of the Labour Party, and
without your elected governor, without your elected senators, without your elected House of Reps members.
The structures recognized by the party include the National Convention Executive Committee, the National Working Committee, the State. You see, if you look at the national leadership of the party,
conduct world, local government, and state congresses before the Inewi Convention.
Yes.
Where? How? Who emerged? Why was
the delegates to the National Convention were duly elected?
But it was highly disputed at the Huma here because they felt that those processes were not followed.
The processes were clearly followed, and that convention was validated by several judgments of the court as having been properly conducted. Proper notices were given. The argument about notices, we presented certified copy of the notices.
Are you not worried,
and the notices were adequate?
Are you not worried, Mr. Edun, that if you, Julius Abure, and the rest are being disowned by a Peter Obi, for example, does that not worry you?
Well, Peter Obi remains a member of the party and has to abide by the decision of the party. So he's an important member, that is clear, but an individual cannot make a decision for the party. The principal organs of the party have made the decision, and that decision is binding on everybody. We understand that any individual may have grievances, but you will have to present that grievances to the structures of the party with authority to take decision on
Which are the principal organs of the party? How many of the organs in the strata, in the hierarchy of the party do you have?
We have the National Convention, we have the National Executive Committee, we have the National Working Committee. That is at the national level. These are the organs that are and Abure remains the national chairman, the chairman of the NEC, and the chairman of the National Working Committee. And these are organs that can take decisions for the party.
But those, I mean, one will imagine that those who constitute the NEC and those who constitute the other layers in the hierarchy of the party are alien to, they are not aware of some of the positions, and they are the ones fighting.
They are not.
The Inewi Convention.
They are
the ones fighting and saying that Abure should go.
A political party is a democracy where the majority rules. A few individuals cannot sit down, say maybe you are 10 people and you are saying a party that has maybe close to maybe 2 million, 3 million, 10 million members nationwide, and 3 or 4 people will say they are not satisfied. Yes, they will have their say. But the majority will have their way.
How many governors do you have on the platform of the Labour Party?
Just one governor. But
Alex Oti,
yes,
of Abure State.
Yes.
He was the one who hosted that meeting in Uma here. The meeting that said to have ousted you and your colleagues in the NWC.
They have no power. They can never oust the authentic leadership of the party. But they may express their grievances. We will look at it and try to resolve it.
But this is the caliber of people at that meeting in Uma here.
We have other great and important and big officers of the party. Not all of them were there. How many senators do we have here? How many House of Reps members? I told you that the people that you had there that day, you had less than 10% of our House of Reps members. How many senators do you have there? The truth is that a few people went there and they saw that it was a failed meeting. They hurriedly came out and made statements. So it is very, but
these are the caliber of people that you said make 10% of. These are elected.
Count the number of House of Reps members.
These are Senator Nwokocha there. Senator Ungo there. Senator.
How many people are there?
Senator Ume there. How many senators do you have, by the way?
Today we have 7 senators, and in that, how many senators do we have?
I'm seeing almost 3 or 4 there. Now you also have the Labour Party governorship candidate in Lagos State is there. Your governorship, the only governor of your party is there.
Make you bigger than the national chairman of the party.
But Mr. Edun, if you don't think that there must be a way, it's interesting the way Mr. Julius Abure, it does look like he wants a reconciliation.
We have always wanted it.
But have you reached out to the Nanadi Usman-led Caretaker committee?
The truth is that we have been talking with everybody. We are open and we talk. So the thing is that we are making efforts to resolve this thing because we believe that we need anybody. Whether you are a governor or you are not, we need everybody. A governor has 1 vote. The other people also have 1 vote.
You don't also worry that the party is becoming just a shell. Look at how many members in the National Assembly that have left your party.
Well, we know there are crises in the party because of the way they are making it to look. But we are making efforts to reconcile, to make everybody come. And we still have time to do that. So we have never picked any fight with anybody. We didn't go to court against Nenadi. They are the one who said, we went to court only against INEC, and the court to resolve the dispute between us. But they said they wanted to join. And they are here now. You see, we have never fought anybody. We have never gone to court against anybody. Our case is strictly against INEC. And we have never sued any member of the party. If you look at all the cases that we have had in court, it is these people suing the party. Do you think you would have a case with Peter Obi on the other side against you? Peter Obi has not said that he's in court against us. But Peter Obi was at that meeting. Yes, but what they have seen that meeting failed, and they couldn't get the leadership of the party. So is Peter Obi back with Julius Abure? I believe so. But you don't know so. I believe no, he has not made any categorical statement about it. But he was at that meeting, but he has not publicly said that he's with Julius Abure. But he speaks with us all the time, and he has not said he has left the party. Okay, in the secret, he speaks to Abure. We speak with every member of the party. Do you speak with Peter Obi? Yes. And what does he tell you? He's with us. He's supporting Julius Abure. That's what I believe. Is that what you know or what you believe? That is what I know and believe. Mr. Kehinde Edun is the legal advisor on the side of the Julius Abure divide of the party, because the Nanadi Usman-led Caretaker committee is saying they are going to the Supreme Court. Thank you so much indeed. I appreciate it. I wish you and your party the very best. Thank you very much.